Why she stops loving you without saying a word. It can be one of the hardest things to understand. One moment, she's all in. The next, she's distant, cold, and seems like she's lost interest. But here's the thing. Sometimes women don't stop loving you because of one big event. They stop loving you because of a series of little things that add up. They won't always say it, but you'll see it in their actions, or lack thereof. So, why does this happen? First, let's talk about emotional withdrawal. When a woman stops feeling emotionally connected, it's not usually something she announces. Instead, she begins pulling away slowly. She stops sharing her thoughts, her day, or her feelings. This slow drift is often the result of being emotionally drained by a relationship that feels one-sided. She stops feeling heard, validated, or respected. And without these basic emotional needs being met, love starts to fade. Then, there's the issue of unmet expectations. Women often don't speak up about what they need, but that doesn't mean they don't have needs. She might not tell you she feels neglected, or that she's waiting for you to show more effort. The reality is, when she feels like you're not paying attention to her emotional needs, or not growing together, she starts to emotionally check out. And without communication, these things build up quietly until she's too tired to continue fighting for a relationship where she feels unseen. Another thing to consider is when a woman begins to feel undervalued. If you're constantly taking her for granted, not appreciating the small things she does, or treating her like she's always going to be there, you might be unknowingly pushing her away. Over time, this emotional exhaustion accumulates, and instead of talking about it, she begins to quietly withdraw. She doesn't necessarily stop loving you overnight. It's just that the respect and the emotional energy required to maintain that love starts fading. Now, let's not forget that sometimes the issue isn't about you at all. A lot of times, women stop loving without saying anything because they're struggling with their own inner battles. They could be going through personal changes, feeling unfulfilled, or dealing with a loss of self. And when she's busy fighting her own battles, the relationship can unintentionally take a backseat. The bottom line is this: when a woman stops loving you without saying a word, it's often because of a deeper emotional disconnect. She might not express it out loud, but she's feeling hurt, ignored, or emotionally drained. And unfortunately, if those feelings aren't addressed, the love starts to die in silence. So if you notice this shift, don't ignore it. It's not always about dramatic fights or arguments. Sometimes, it's the quiet, unspoken things that really matter. Communication, respect, and emotional connection are the pillars of lasting love. If one of those is crumbling, it's time to rebuild before it's too late.